Welcome to Soulful Conversation with Gaia and Patti.
Real, heart-centered, and fun conversations about life.
In this Soulful Conversation with Gaia and Patti, we will be chatting about following your intuition.
Hi, I'm Gaia Shrangella, life evolution mentor, soul coach, and Reiki master. I help spiritually conscious women who feel the need for a change in their lives, either professionally or in relationships or other areas of life, who want to rebuild their lives, and I guide them to reconnect with their own inner wisdom and intuition and go back to live in a more intuitive way to recuperate their confidence and a joyful and fulfilling life.
Hi, I'm Patti Osferic, coaching for inspiration with Patti. I'm a leadership and work-life balance coach, Reiki master, podcaster, and blogger. I am committed to helping managers and supervisors and others to become better leaders and live a more purposeful, balanced life. I also, like Gaia, share with my clients to use their intuition in many different ways. I use my intuition when I'm coaching. So those are things that is why Gaia and I decided to talk about this subject
Right.
about following your intuition and why it's so important.
I think, Patty, that's correct. I think it is really, really important because when you start seeing that there is more to just the general life and going through life through the motions, right, without any awareness, without having your inner compass guiding you, life becomes much more purposeful, much more enjoyable. So to me, intuition is this internal compass because people may say it sounds so abstract, right? What is intuition? How do you recognize it? So to me, it's really your internal compass that it's fueled, I would say, by the light or the energy of your soul that express as your inner wisdom. When you really are, for example, in tune with your own emotions, it gives you the drive, the motivation to go in life and to get through life. You are really in sync with your feelings. You know what's going on deeply inside of you, and you recognize what is best then for you. I think intuition in general gives you the more purposeful life because it will reveal to you more possibilities, more avenues that you didn't consider before, and maybe you can start acting differently and even will give you answers whenever you have doubts. What do you think, Patty?
Oh, I definitely agree. When you feel something and you know it's just not right and you continue with it, I found in my life that when I wasn't listening to that inner guidance, it became such a horrible experience because I wasn't following my intuition. It was taking me down the wrong path instead of going to the right path. And
Right.
as a child, I had those intuition guidance and things like that. And I found as I was going through life as an adult in my professional life, in my personal life, and all of that, when I didn't follow those nudges or feelings, I found that it wasn't the right thing for me. When I followed those nudges, guidance, and all of those things, it turned out to be a great experience. And I think back, why wasn't I listening to my intuition when I should have been? And taking that time to just reflect and know that you have an inner guidance within you that loves you and protects you. And to listen to it, it's there for a reason. But sometimes we don't slow down enough to listen to it because we're caught up in the moment of possibly chaos, stress, all of those things that take us away from spending time within ourselves.
Yeah, I love the fact that you mentioned feelings because for some people, and our listeners may actually ask themselves, okay, how do I feel more my intuition, right? It's for some people, it's really an inner knowing, but for other people, it really needs to be felt through the body, I believe. So when you say feelings, it doesn't feel right, it's exactly that, something that really gives you either the famous gut feelings, or maybe basically doesn't sits well with you or doesn't sit well with you. So in this way, your soul really tries to, and your inner wisdom tries to give you answers that needs to be aligned with what you feel in your body, so your body sensations. I think a lot of people may recognize that as a way to follow their intuition. Yeah, and why we don't follow that, we don't follow our intuition, because I like to say that there are some clouding, always say, elements of the soul, right? It happens when we start to think too much, when we use too much our logic. Logic is great, but it's opposite to the intuition. When we start following our conditionings, the beliefs that we grew up with, what we hold basically in our mind, and maybe are imprinted in our bodies from past experiences, so we totally forget about what we really have inside, these nudges. Usually it's like a quiet voice. It's not something so evident that may come up from a logical reasoning, but it's something that may sound, even the suggestions you get from your body may sound like maybe not really logical, something that you wouldn't do normally, but maybe you need really to take into account. It's a different way to take decisions to me.
Have
No,
you
no,
ever gone somewhere and you know that you need to turn around and leave?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
When I was little, I was probably about 5 years old. My mom and I were going to board a plane and go to Washington State to visit my grandma. My mom had this feeling, no, we need to change planes. And we actually changed and we stayed longer in the airport and waited for another flight. That flight went down.
God.
So my mom
Wow.
had that intuition knowing and she followed it. When you have those nudges and it's telling you don't do something, listen.
Yeah, and
My mom
actually,
hadn't listened, me and her wouldn't be here today.
yeah, that's a great example, because as I said, it may seem like so illogical. You wouldn't change, a ticket, you wouldn't, yeah, and but yeah, it
That's
really,
a big one. That's something that
that's
doesn't
a big,
normally happen. But I know I've walked into a place and I'm like, no, I need
yeah,
to
that's
leave.
not for me. It's like the choices that we make. I'm talking, an example I may give you. It's like, when you are looking for a different job and you have different sensations about two different places that may offer your job. How do you distinguish? It's not only logic, it's not only the feeling that of the people that are going to work with you, right? You need to like them and they need to like you, but it's also something that goes further. You already have, or at least that happened to me, like a vision, right? So
Mhm.
this is really better for me because I have a sense that it may get me farther, right, along my own professional journey, for example. It's something that really talks to you in a quiet way, and you may not know why, but it feels really better for you. It's,
Yes.
yeah.
I know that there was many times in my professional life that I had these nudges and I decided not to listen. And I wish I had because it would have been the right choice. But it's taking that time and listening and believing in yourself and your intuition and that feeling. More of us need to do that because it really is an inner guidance that's telling you, no, this isn't quite right. Sit with it and think about, okay, if I'm having this feeling, why am I having this feeling? Or
Right.
what's my body telling me? Or what am I hearing or thinking about? And why is it telling me this isn't good for you? And just taking those few moments with whatever is happening it's good for you.
Yeah,
It's guiding you in the right direction,
yeah.
and you're wanting to go down this
Right.
direction.
And people may ask, how do you distinguish, right? So, as I said, it may be all these ideas, preconceived notions, conditionings, logic. Okay, this should go in this way because you have this idea that it should go in that way. But I believe that you get to observe on certain moment. You need to sit, as you said, take time, abstract a moment yourself from the situation, start to observe all this clutter, all these thoughts that you have, and this definitely helps you to sift through and to sort out what comes from your intuition, what comes from your logic. So the awareness is really the first step to be able to let your intuition then emerge. And in the example I give you before, right, when you know that professionally something is good or maybe better for you or not, it really, I had instances where my mind was telling me, okay, now this is going to happen because blah blah blah, I have the evidence that this is what's happening underneath, so these people maybe are not calling me because of these reasons, blah blah blah. And then you have sort of feeling like, no, everything should be fine, it will go fine, and guess what, it's going to be fine. So it's really separating your clutter up here from what you really feel.
Have you ever had where a thought just pops in your mind to call
Yeah.
somebody, or an idea comes up for you that you follow through and it turned out to be wonderful? Or when
Yeah.
you called that friend, they really needed to hear your voice and have your friendship at that moment?
Yes, it happened to me, and I could give you other examples, but right now at the top of my mind, I cannot mention them because I try to listen more and more in my own intuition every day. It's more like a practice for me to live in this way, in a conscious way, rather than just single episodes. It's starting to build more and more. The more you use it, the more it will come to you. So you will know better what you really want, what is possible for you, and what is best for you. So I try to weave that in my own daily life.
No, I
Yeah.
definitely agree. The more that you practice it, the more comfortable you become with it, and the more trusting you become with your
Right.
intuition and the feelings that happen, or just different ways that it comes to you.
Yes.
Some
It
people
can
have
be,
dreams,
yeah.
some people hear. Everybody is different on how their intuition comes to them.
Yeah, it is can be the sense of knowing I was talking about, or maybe
Yes.
people just feel it in their body. It's really different. That's why sometimes people may say, I don't really feel that I'm intuitive because I don't get these ideas or this, but maybe because you need to explore the particular way your intuition works for you. Maybe for you, it's just sitting there and listening to your gut feeling and giving a yes or no answer. It really depends.
Yeah, that's great advice, Gaia. If when you're working with a client, how do you explain to them what intuition may look like?
Yeah, like these subtle nudges and this quiet voice in the background that will reassure you, okay, is everything good? Is everything is going to be fine, even though the evidence are not yet there. And yeah, and really I invite them to explore in different ways what may work for them.
Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that we would like to share about following your intuition?
One thing though, and it just came to my mind, I was actually thinking, and now I could grab the thought. So when you start working more in this way, living in a more intuitive way, some things will start to be put on your own journey. in your own life. So we'll see more people talks about that, like synchronicities, for example. In any case, you will start seeing that your life flows in a different way. You will have more easiness. Not that your struggles will disappear, but things will be put on your path in a different way, and you will be able to see more choices. You will be able to really have more a way really to live a life that it's more in tune with your own inner desires.
I love that. It's so true. When you're following where you need to be going, it is with ease and grace
Yes.
and much more comfortable, and it seems to flow more easily when you're following your intuition than not.
Yeah. It's not only an impression that you're not wrestling with life, it's also the things that manifest in your life that will change. I know it sounds really abstract, but it's really true. Things will start happening and be evident to you and manifest to you. You have different choices to choose from.
Yes, like I said at the beginning, when I wasn't following my intuition, it seemed like a struggle.
Yes.
And when I was listening to my intuition, it was more calm.
But why it is a struggle then? Because something inside of you is also telling you that's not the way it's supposed to go, because it's not that's why I was talking about alignment. It's not aligned with what you see outside, what you aligned with what you really have inside, the desires, the things that you want that will be able to satisfy you. So it's really the way that the urges of your soul are expressed through your intuition. It's something that guides you. This is right, this is wrong.
Yes, definitely, definitely true. Anything else that we would like to share before we end this video?
I had actually a class that I recorded last year that people can, write to me and ask for, that I'm just, having a special offer for. It's a recorded class which is called Awaken Your Inner Brilliance, that people can take, and explains a bit about intuition and also guides you through a practice in order to express more and find more this light of your soul that you have inside, and how to develop it more. So in case they just write to me, and I'll give them the information.
And we will have that in our description
Thank you.
for this video. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please like and follow Gaia and Patti. Until next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.